I'm Adam Hadfield.
I'm Cheryl Hadfield.
And we are Vitalis Health, and this is our
Brew and Breakthrough.
Hope you enjoy. So we have just, for the not for the first time, but the first time, in terms of our regular shopping, I've actually just been to a butcher's, a farmhouse butcher's. Sorry, you're going to hear that a lot.
You're going to hear that a lot.
He will make an appearance at some point if you're a cat lover. Do you want to explain why we've been doing that, why we made that change this week?
Yeah, basically we shop at supermarkets just like everyone else does. And what myself and Adam have been doing recently, particularly Adam's been reading a book. Do you just want to say what that book is called?
Yeah, it's called Highly Processed People, and it has terrified me, if I'm honest.
Terrified both of us, and you're the one reading it, but we basically want to make a change, and we talk a lot about habit stacking at the minute. And with this change, we want to try out buying fresh produce with our meats from a fresh butcher's, and we've just got some eggs from there and some potatoes. They do sour bread, they didn't have any today, but our point of why we're going is we want to make an improvement to what we're putting into our body, because with some of the food we've had in our fridge is already terrifying us, isn't it?
Yeah, so the main reason we've done it, or we are doing it, is I've set myself a goal this year, and that is to reduce my diet, but subsequently Cheryl's and Ollie's as well, from roughly what a household is at the minute in the UK, between 60 to 80 ultra processed foods, down to around 20% we want to aim for, because ultra processed foods are in a lot of cases unavoidable, and we'll discuss the reasons for that as we go on through this episode. But for me, the big thing is, first of all, it's defining what an ultra processed food is, and that's very difficult. Even a lot of the bigwigs and the philosophers and the scientists struggle with that. But generally, if you look at an ingredients list at the back of a packet, what you should be looking for is, if you couldn't find that ingredient in your kitchen, it's classed as ultra processed. Now, most food's processed these days because we're not going and slaughtering the animals to get our meat. We're not going and picking the potatoes from the ground. So at some point it will be processed through that food chain. But ultra processed is generally when things are added to that food, and it's usually to increase shelf life, to ensure that it's fresh. In a lot of cases, to change the ingredients of that food, in terms of they don't have to put the fresh ingredients in, they can put substitutes in. So it still tastes like that food, but it isn't that food. Classic ones are like tomato purees, things like that. And generally using things like stabilizers, flavourings, E-numbers, all put into your food. And the whole idea is that the big food corporations can make as much money as possible off you with spending as little as possible to create that food.
And the way they entice us in to this food as well is how they put on the packages, saying that it's high protein, low fat, even what you've been reading in the book about Cocoa Pops.
Which was...
Frigging Cocoa Pops, frightening. Salt, which most people think of Cocoa Pops and think of the sugar that's in Cocoa Pops, but from this book, what Adam's already reading, there is more salt in Cocoa Pops per gram than, is it a microwave lasagna meal? Now that is scary. Let me just grab that because one of our cats is being a knob.
Yes.
So.
This is our normal home when we're doing these. These are all normal things that we have to deal with. She's trying to come in now. All three cats want to come in. Because the other thing with the ultra processed foods is why they want you to buy it and how they make you buy it is, A, they make it incredibly delicious to your palate, and that's usually through adding substantial amounts of additives, E-numbers, salt, sugar, the things that our brain really craves and wants. But the other side of it is often the aggressive marketing, and Cocoa Pops in that book was a great example of that, because the author was essentially saying he got a box of Cocoa Pops out because he was doing an experiment on himself over a 4-week period and increasing the amount of ultra processed foods that he had. And as soon as he got that out, his 4-year-old daughter straight away went, I don't want my porridge oats, I want the Disney Mickey Mouse cereal, because she thought the monkey on it was Mickey Mouse.
From Disney, yeah.
And that's how they do it, and they attract you in. And for parents, what it'll say on the box is, our little traffic light system we use in the UK for salts, fats,
Yeah.
protein,
Yeah.
carbs, everything else. They have it is per 30 grams, it is 2 green, 2 amber. So you're thinking as a parent,
Not bad.
It's quite good that. But 30 grams of Cocoa Pops is about a fistful.
About that.
Which is gone in what, 2 spoons?
And then you're not full, you're not satisfied, because then you just still want more.
And then you also got to include the milk in that as well.
Yeah.
So actually you're probably more like having a 200 gram dose, which would turn that double green and double amber into probably 2 red and 2 amber, which is obviously a big no-no. But they don't, what they rely on, these corporations, is you not weighing out your food and not understanding what 30 grams serving looks like.
Yeah.
Which is only what you get for education, isn't it?
Just on that point of weighing out food, now we've just bought one of these and it's a pocket-sized digital scales. And for anyone who's going to think, oh, that's really obsessive, do you know what? Sometimes a form of obsession with nutrition has to be set in place, particularly if you've got diabetes or fatty liver, heart problems, you struggle to breathe going up and down the bloody stairs. So even something as small as this that will fit in your handbag, you can weigh certain foods out, and I guarantee it'll start petrifying you. Even if you go to Costa, now just using something like that is easy. But with even a Costa hot chocolate with the cream and all the trimmings on top, people are not factoring that in. Going to the gym saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing everything I can, but our point going back to the Cocoa Pops is we're not thinking about the number of what's going in.
The problem is, and why we've gotten invested into coaching and want to do the coaching, is that you are up against it straight away, because everything out there is firing things at you to make you latch onto these tasty snacks and these things that are unhealthy for you. Every advert, gosh, I sat and watched telly the other night and I counted 6 fast food adverts during a 4-minute period. Billboards everywhere, it's always all over your phone. You go around a supermarket and all of that stuff we've just been talking about is always at eye line. They do it on purpose. There's actual studies of how to get consumers to buy this kind of stuff. So straight away, you're up against it when you're trying to make these changes, particularly around the New Year period, as we are now.
But the irony of it as well is you counted however many adverts on that, whether it be Domino's, KFC, then there'll be an advert for weight loss. And it's like, well, friggin' hell, people can't keep up. Oh, but yeah, I need to lose weight. And then there'll be another one. It did come to me. I've forgotten now. Takeaways, gambling.
Gambling's
so
another one,
the gambling, that's another addiction. So there's the food addiction.
And then you've got smoking, you've got vaping, you've got alcohol. We're just a society set up to get you hooked. Because why do they want you hooked on all of those things? Because it makes money.
As well, with the people being addicted to all this processed food, is the same as obviously someone having an addiction to pornography, because that same hormone in your brain is released when we have that wonderful feeling, as what we have that wonderful feeling when, like, what did you say in that book? That guy's daughter, as soon as she tasted the Cocoa Pops,
he said he watched her and literally her eyes, he said, I almost saw her pupils dilate.
Yeah.
And then from then on, you could just see she was chasing that first taste.
It's a thrill of that. Oh my God.
It's your brain going, oh my God, what is that? The pleasure centre all gets lit up like a Christmas tree. I want more of that. And you're constantly chasing that high.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why people end up obese and can't escape it. It's such a hard cycle, and that's where we're trying to get in and break that wheel by not only educating people, but being there by their side through this process and helping them through those barriers.
Yeah, and this isn't just because it's January. Me and Adam have been doing a health coaching since October, and I'm continuing to do a full diploma, whereas you've just got the certificate.
Yeah.
And me and Adam, we're human like everyone else. Everyone, whether they admit it or not, has some form of hook with food. Mine is crisps. What's yours?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, so sweet, savoury.
We're just like everyone else.
We're like everyone else, so we're not going to sit here and pretend that we're frigging gurus when it comes to food, because we're not. But what the skill we do have is when we are tracking, so like this week, we've been very, very meticulous with our intake. We've just literally, like the pack of chicken sausages, I don't even want to eat chicken sausages anymore. Get the thing out. After going through that, it's actually put me off. So we've just basically cooked what we had left, and we're going to be giving it to the
So
cats.
this is a good example of UPFs in order. So chicken sausages, you generally think, oh, they're a lot healthier than pork sausages. I'm going to see if you can read this on the camera. A few things to see here. First thing it shows you, low in saturated fat. It's high in protein, which is a big buzzword at the minute, particularly in the fitness industry. 1.3 calories per 2 sausages, which all sounds great. So you think, yeah, I'll buy that. Then go and look on the ingredients list. So on this one we have a stabilizer in, which is a UPF, how they get it from factory to shelf. They have dextrose in it. They have preservatives. They have flavourings. They have sodium metabolisate. I can't pronounce that properly. They've got absorbic acid. They've got antioxidants. So, is it healthy? That's then the question, because all the green lights all pop up. You've got 2 green, 1 amber, and then 1 red for your salts. But because it has been processed the way it has, and it has the things that it does in it, is it healthy? And there's a study that's been done, a really watertight one, where basically they took 2 groups. One group ate fresh food that was prepared by a chef over a 4-week period, and the other group had ultra processed foods that were still prepared by a chef, but it was stuff that was frozen, microwavable, you know, like burgers, pizzas, stuff like that. And because what was interesting was the scientist that ran it, he actually doubted that it was the processing of the food that was unhealthy as opposed to the food, and he wanted to prove it wrong. So what he did, he was that meticulous that he made sure that the UPFs and the fresh food that was eaten were exactly the same nutritional value each meal. So it had the same calories, same fats, same proteins, same carbs, same sugars, same salts in every meal, expecting to see that both groups would put on weight because they basically were allowed to eat as much as they wanted. What was interesting was what they found out in the end, and it shocked him, was that the people on the fresh food ate less and actually lost weight, whereas the people on the UPFs ate much more and then subsequently put on weight as a result.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, very interesting. I could talk about it all day, but we'll move on.
But with going back to the people who ate the healthy option versus the processed, I say this all the time, and I've been saying it for years now. You actually can eat more of your wholesome, your denser foods, and you will lose weight. And some people go, God, that's a lot of food you're eating. And when you have continuously trained your body and your mind, the chemicals in your brain to understand why you've got certain triggers around food, once you tackle that, and it doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't happen over a week, sometimes it takes months. It's like someone trying to quit smoking. So with food as well, it's the same. And you can eat, how much food do I eat, Adam?
You eat loads.
I eat so much. I eat fish, chicken, beef, potatoes, rice, sourdough, bacon, eggs, yogurt, fruit, peanut butter. The list goes on. And if you've got an active lifestyle, very important point here, not just the food. If you do move, if you do walk, and even if you're inactive, you still need to be applying yourself to some form of expenditure, such as walking, because you will still burn fat from walking, and they say that you actually burn fat more.
I was going to say the studies show
walking.
that you will burn more fat doing your 10,000 steps a day than you will actually doing your hours workout per day. And to your point there about being able to eat more of what we consider the good stuff, although I know me, you don't like to label foods good and bad because it's not good for the psyche. But to that point, a lot of the time, the reason why you don't tend to put on weight and people tend to lose weight when eating larger amounts of the better foods is that they're less calorie dense. So they don't have, you know, the 30 grams of fat per serving, which equates to 9 calories per each gram, which is a lot of your calories.
Yeah.
Whereas you tend to be eating a lot more of like the high protein and the carbs and stuff like that, which the body obviously, particularly with the protein, it takes a lot more of the body's energy to digest it, as opposed to like the fats, the sugar, which is, you know, broke down by the body like that. So that's probably a good explanation as to why. So if you are on a diet or on a calorie restriction or calorie deficit, you will find once you change your foods, you'll actually be eating probably more, unironically, than you were before you went on that diet, because you're getting more bang for your buck, almost.
Well, I've got 4 ladies that have started a photo shoot prep 4 days ago, and out of all 4 of them, 3 of them have said this is a lot of food, and because they're in a deficit, I can already tell what their thoughts are, like, oh my god, but I want to lose weight. Well, you can. This is the point we're trying to make. It's about putting that correct, I'm going to use the word petrol now. Your car's going to conk out, isn't it, if there's no petrol or diesel in it? What do you think's going to happen to your body? If you don't put the right amount of fuel source from your food in, you're going to start getting moody, your sleep's going to be crap, you're going to have low libido, and nothing's going to go the way you want. The moment you start putting more food in, still to lose weight, you'll be like, oh my god, I actually feel better already. But you've just got to actively trust it and do it.
Yeah, I found that. I was talking to 2 fellow medical professionals last night, and we were discussing all this, and another really good point that they raised is, she said to me, one of them, over Christmas I had a takeaway and I've not had one for ages, and she said the day after I felt awful.
Yeah, you feel sluggish and...
You know, like almost like sweaty and greasy almost.
But even your bowels, like going back to us not wanting to label food as good and bad, the only bad food are the ones you're intolerant to, or if it's gone off.
Yeah.
That's quite literally the only time
food is food.
Food's food. And
it's just different types, isn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, even when I'm on prep for bodybuilding, I get refeed meals where it's literally, I'll be told to have burger, chips and cookies. And that's to bump my body back up and bring it back to life. But we're talking an extreme deficit there, which, you know, we're not talking about for you to do here. But that's the point with food. People are going, oh, I can't eat this, can't eat that. This time of year, everyone's going to be overtraining, under-eating, having just salads.
Well, New Year's resolutions are notorious. There's something like 80% of New Year's resolutions fail, and the reason why, which you just alluded to there, is people try and change everything at once.
Yeah, they're going like a raging bull.
And it's not going to work. You're going to end up miserable, you're going to end up confused. On the internet, there's conflicting advice everywhere. I should be fasting, I should be doing keto, I should be doing carnivore, all of these different things. So people just get confused, bogged down, motivation goes, and as soon as you lose a lot of that motivation, it's good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. Like how precious are me and you about our sleep?
Yeah.
We get laughed at, we get bloody called
old people
because the latest me and Adam are in bed for is 9 o'clock. It is. And I mean, yeah, we have days where we feel tired. Everyone does. But we're so well functioned and fueled and ready for the day with our routine that we already implement. And don't get me wrong, we've still got things we need to improve on with our own health and well-being, whether it be niggles in our body or trying to work on stress management. But the good thing about it is we communicate about it, don't we? We don't just let things slide. But our sleep is so precious, and we may get laughed at because we go to bed early and wake early, but
with sleep, like we always say, whenever me and you, because, you know, again, we're human, we tend to do have a takeaway once or twice a month because we enjoy the food. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to sit here and say that we don't eat foods like that, because of course we do.
I freaking love food.
We love it, but each time we always notice, don't we, the morning after, we tend to have a worse sleep.
Yeah, God,
because you're waking up dehydrated, you're waking up needing to wee, you're waking up feeling bloated, you get headaches because you're dehydrated, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So food has such a knock-on and an impact, not only to like weight and health, but gosh, it leaks into everything.
Leaks. Just when you said that, I just thought about poo.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, whether you're bunged up and you can't go for a shit. I once had a lady and she said, oh, I just sometimes I don't go for 5 days every week, but I'm used to it. I went, well, don't get used to it.
As a medical professional, that frightens me.
I know, but then just from recommending some certain foods and certain vitamin supplements, she'd gone 3 times in the following week. And not just being bunged up, people having loose stools and not questioning it. And again, another old client of mine, she kept having loose stools and she said, oh, my skin is so bad. Well, yeah, If your
Scary,
internal
yeah.
well-being's feeling naff, what's going to happen on
And
the
again,
outside?
that goes back, that's all the oils, all the chemicals, all the preservatives, you know, the way that they make the food have the shelf life it does, stay the way it does. You're ingesting that. What do you think it's going to do to your body?
But people, they're so guilty of taking not just the health but everything for granted. We don't know when our last day on this planet is.
As depressing as that is, it's right.
But it's true. And because, oh, well, I've not got this, I've not got that, I'm doing fine. And there's runners out there that drop down dead.
But you know, that's the saddest thing I always see. It often takes a health scare for people to scare them into making changes. So getting diagnosed with diabetes, getting told, you know, you've got a partially blocked artery in the heart, stuff like that, then people go, oh my God, I need to make changes. Whereas if we just, you don't have to be a flipping addict to it, you don't have to be, you know, a bodybuilder and doing it like that. If you just slightly change your lifestyle and just have one day, one evening where you do enjoy those foods that you want to eat, but then the rest of the time you're just following a simple, you know, high protein diet in each meal. Make sure you've got a protein source, make sure you're getting some vegetables, some fruit throughout the day, keeping your fibre high. Everyone would be a lot more healthy.
Yeah.
But it's not as simple as that though, because then you've got the other side of it, which again is making me quite angry reading it. It's the economic side of things. So a lot of people aren't blessed enough that they can go to a greengrocer's or shop at a Waitrose or, you know, something like that. A lot of people, because of their budget, are forced to shop at like a Farm Foods or an Iceland or go to an Asda and just buy frozen foods because it's cheap. You know, I read somewhere that something like for the highest end of people earning wise, they spend roughly 8% of their income a month on food, and they can afford the fruit, the veg. Now, if someone on the lowest incomes were to try and match that diet, they'd spend something like 80% of their monthly wage to achieve that diet of the fruit, veg, eggs, dairy, meats. So it's no wonder, you know, you go into a supermarket, like we've stopped buying beef from Aldi because it's now like £5 something for a
nearly
packet.
£6, yeah.
If you're someone on a low income and you see that and you're thinking, I'm going to make a spag bol for my kids, you know, that plus the pasta plus the sauce plus the cheese, you're looking about £9 to make one meal, versus going to the ready-made aisle or the frozen aisle and there's 4 individual meals for £4 ready to go. What are you going to pick?
Let's pretend it's a single parent as well.
They're going to pick the
ready
frozen
meal,
one. But that's the one that's full of crap.
I know. So
it's not fair. People are not being given access to actually make these choices. In a lot of cases, they're forced into it.
I know. It's like us today. We've gone to this butcher's, and obviously I don't mind saying what we spend on food shopping a week. It's between 80, sometimes it's very rarely 90, but it's around that £80 mark a week.
And we don't buy loads.
We don't buy loads.
Pointing that out though, we're not like splurging and buying steaks and things like that. It's simple shops, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've just spent just £28 something at the butcher's now, but we didn't get everything. So we're talking, we've worked out it'll probably be about £35 a week
to do that.
The butchers, and then
we'll still have to go to a supermarket.
But we've agreed we're going to get that up to around another £30.
Yeah.
To get things like our salads and fruits, and obviously, you know, we've got a child, so he does have cereal, but you know, with kids as well, you can make those. We are doing it with Ollie.
We have been slowly doing it, and that's something I'm very happy with. He used to be on a typical kids diet of like frozen smiley faces and frozen chicken, like breadcrumb chicken. But now we tend to give him rice or pasta, peas, and then we try and make him like fresh chicken, putting Nando's sauce and stuff like that on it. So we're slowly I mean, he's a kid. I don't mind him having bits of chocolate crisps. That's fine. I'm not going to be like strict with him because he's a kid. He's got to grow up. But we've tried to. Well, we've changed his meals, haven't we? So he's having more nutrition in during the week as well. My brew's finished.
My brew's finished.
Should we end episode 1 there?
Yeah, so if you enjoyed any of what we talked about and it resonated with you, please drop us a comment.
Join us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Drop us a DM if you want to learn more about health coaching and how we can help and support you.
Yeah, we're happy to help.
And we're going to try and do these probably once a week.
Once a week.
So we will upload another episode next week. But thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Bye.